Hey guys, so today we have a bit of a beauty related kind of discussion that I want to start. And I've seen this in the beauty community, but I've also seen it in obviously all sides of the internet, but this is a beauty related channel, so I kind of want to make it more beauty focused. But there are many other areas in which this is used as marketing recently. Today we're talking about rage bait in the beauty industry and beauty community. So subscribe with the bell, like, comment for engagement. Let's just get into it. I think with rage bait, there are definitely ways that makeup companies do it, but it doesn't really cause rage in the same way, because like you can just not buy the product, or it's a bit less, we focus on it less when it's a company, because it's just like, yeah, obviously they do dumb things, like the shaped lipsticks that were released, and Becca, rest in peace Becca, with the see-through foundation that they had when it was really just a silicone primer, just things like that where it's a rage baity thing. Like I feel like if it's someone on your level, like just a person to person using rage bait to get more views and comments and engagement, it feels a little bit different than when a company does it, because we expect the worst from companies essentially. So I'm mainly going to focus on just like the beauty community on the internet, but there are definitely ways that makeup brands use it to get more engagement, but it typically is less effective in my opinion. So I think the first contender is Meredith Duxbury, who has done this with the foundation trend. I mean, at the time when she was slathering it all over her face, she claimed it was because she was a broke college student, and that was one way she could save money, because she would use, like, she would get all the pigmentation from the foundation. So in theory, you would use less of it, but she was obviously not using less of it. She was using more than you would use even if you were using a sponge, but claimed it was because she was poor and she was using an expensive foundation, and so she wanted it to last. She's slathering it on. People were saying like, why are you being so annoying, and leaving comments about it. And in reality, it was just rage bait, because the more she did that, the more people got angry, and the more people left comments, and it would boost her videos. And the videos from that time have so many views compared to now when she doesn't do this trend anymore. Her views are much lower. She would also do the scrunch thing, like when she was singing, and people either loved it or hated it, but everyone commented on her doing it. And once again, that was getting her engagement and getting her more views, because if you have higher comments, then that translates to getting pushed down the algorithm more. And this is where rage bait feels more nefarious and feels more aggressive and like a little bit more hurtful, because I guess these people really liked her content and she feels like one of us, right? And then she uses these shady tactics to, one, get more comments, two, get more views, get pushed in the algorithm, and then use all of that to make money by lying to you, allegedly. And so that is one way where I saw rage bait really happen. And then recently she became like a model. She walks runways and she uses really natural makeup right now, shows her freckles and, you know, the whole thing. And her style has changed so much. And it's not like people are not allowed to change their style, but it just definitely feels like once she achieved what she wanted, aka fame, money, buying Birkins and all of that stuff, and then becoming a model, which I think ultimately is what she wanted, she just dropped that whole act and she doesn't do rage bait anymore. She still does undisclosed sponsorships, but that just seems to be the standard on TikTok these days. Then we have the girl who does the really bright underpainting. She basically keeps on tagging Jeffree Star, Mikayla, Glamzilla, all the big influencers in her videos, because she wants everyone to do the trend that she does, and everyone keeps on commenting saying it looks really bad. And then she actually responds and says, did you watch the video to the end? Because I think it looks really good at the end. And I just never know if she's being serious or like ironic, because people are like, yes, we watched until the end, it looks really bad. And then she goes, okay, well, I thought it looked really good. And it just feels like she's just baiting for more comments. But surely she doesn't think that covering her whole face with purple, to then cover her whole face with foundation, to then put more purple on top, looks good or is productive or is efficient. And it just gives me the same vibes as Meredith Duxbury. Because when Meredith did her foundation thing, other influencers started copying it, but just not because Meredith told them to, but because they wanted to see what it actually looks like in real life. And they had mixed results, sure, but they did it on their own accord, organically. Whereas this feels even weirder, because now she's trying to skip a step of the process of like, yes, she's gone viral, but not viral enough for people to start copying the method. So she's almost trying to skip that part of it and to go straight to like Mikayla stitching it and trying it herself, which hasn't happened. And now she's trying all sorts of different shades of the blush, which is fine, but she just seems to be applying more and more of it to look sillier and sillier. Once again, it just gives me the same feelings as Meredith Duxbury, of this like random way of doing things to get more comments, to reply to comments and bait people into responding, to get more comments, to get pushed in the algorithm, to then maybe do a blush sponsorship or something.
It's 6:30 a.m. Let's get ready for the day. Of course, I'm using my face oil and liquid blush technique for a flawless base. If you notice, I do kind of bring the blush onto my nose and do like a little blush contour, because remember, we're under blushing here. You really can't knock this until you try it. I know it looks absolutely insane right now, but nothing works better. As always, I am using an oil-based foundation. I just find it melts better with the skin since I'm using oil as the base. And just buffing that in with my favorite foundation brush. I was always a sponge girly, but when oil is your base, a brush is just magic with it. I have a pretty busy day today, so I want my makeup to look as seamless as possible, and you can see how that's just blending into the skin. Everything's looking nice and bright and glowy. I'm still waiting to hear if my method is Jeffree Star approved. I've been tagging so many beauty creators in all of my videos, just trying to get everyone to try this, because it really is one of those things, like, you have to try it to believe it. If I hadn't just been doing it forever and I saw somebody doing it, I'd be like, what? But it works. I'm a corporate girly and I published a cookbook. And honestly, both of those have been whooping me lately, keeping me busy. I have a book signing coming up in early May, so I've been doing a lot to try to get ready and prep for that. Finished up the eyes, just did my normal little eye look, and then setting the brows, of course, with hairspray. Setting my face with a hydrating spray and a setting spray. Highlighting the tip of my nose while this marinates. I feel like highlighting the tip of my nose like really snatches in the contour. Switching it up today, and instead of ending in liquid blush, I'm gonna do a little bit of cream bronzer. You can see our blush is still poking through anyways, giving us that perfect flush of color in that little C shape where we put it. And here's the final look. Nice and glowy. I just love how hydrated and sculpted this ends up looking. There's not one harsh line. You can still see your skin glowing through. There's no harsh lines. Like, this just suits me the best personally. I've tried other ways. I've done a side by side. This just ends up looking the most natural on my skin. Especially since I have a super busy day. I'm going to be out and about. I'm going to be meeting people. Like, I just can't have that harsh makeup look. I feel like it takes away from everything else I'm doing. But let me know what you think. Bye, y'all.
I think the last one is, at least for today, if you have any more ideas of who has done this or like what brand has done this, leave them in the comments. Maybe I'll do a part 2 of rage bait in the beauty community. But Mikayla Nogueira is someone who I think does it a lot. First of all, the accent, obviously the way she sounded 4 or 5 years ago and the way she sounds now.
Do you have a face full of acne and you just can't seem to figure out how to cover it up? Watch this.
I'm sure you'll be seeing me around, but this is one of my favorite buildings. You can come here to hang out with your friends, study, grab a bite to eat.
Is applied, I'm gonna do tat on the other side. Charlotte freaking did it! I'm a little bit of an acquired taste, okay? Kim Kardashian had this absolutely
vastly different, and the way she sounds in TikToks versus the way that she sounds in sometimes like live streams or times where she's not amped up. It's not just like she's shouting or just being loud. Her whole accent changes, and she claims that it's like a natural thing. That's how she speaks. I don't think it is, and I think it's just the way that she gets people to talk more about her, because then there was that trend of like the Kim Kardashian. Obviously, that gets her more views because then people hate to watch her content. Shouting in the first 5 seconds, she does it all the time, and it's not like she shouts throughout the whole TikTok. She just shouts in the first 5 seconds.
ready with me for a photo shoot. Okay, let me explain. Get ready with me for a wedding. P. Louise, I absolutely love wedding.
And then she stops shouting, and then she speaks semi-normally afterwards. And I've noticed that recently, which is interesting because it grabs the kids' attentions. Like, if the kids are watching her videos, it grabs their attention to keep on watching. Then we have the throwing makeup on yourself, which is interesting. She does this a lot, where she'll like squirt things on her face, and sometimes you can do that and it be funny and whatever, but sometimes it just feels like she just does that in every single video to like get some kind of engagement. I know there are people accusing her of making like fetish content. I don't know if I would push it that far, but I definitely think it's a way of getting engagement. But sometimes she pushes it so far that it becomes ridiculous. Like when she was doing her Christina Aguilera concert makeup look, and she did her eyeshadow first, and then she started squirting foundation all over her face, which makes no sense. It's not a product that is necessary to do that with, because it doesn't have any kind of effect. Like, I recently reviewed the Milk Cloud primer, and I squirted on my face like that because it was puffy and I thought it looked really cute. But like with a foundation, it doesn't make sense. It's a foundation. Like, we don't need to do that. And it went down her whole eyeshadow on her hair, and then she had to fix her eyeshadow look, all because she wanted, I guess, for people to say, why would you do that? And it would boost her comments and therefore boost her views and make her videos blow up.
Get ready with me to see Christina Aguilera. I really tried with this hair. I've statted the makeup, but now we're gonna slay it. I have never seen Christina Aguilera perform, but Burlesque is like one of my all-time favorites. My personal favorite Christina Aguilera song is Bound to You. Oh my god. I used to play that over and over and over again. So the actual event is with Clarence, and there's gonna be so many people there. And I'm excited. I love being around other influencers. Oh, good. Good. Yeah, let's just pretend that didn't happen.
There was also a video, a TikTok, I'm not sure if I'll be able to find it now, but it was a TikTok where there was a random really loud noise in the middle of her video, and it's getting to the point where people don't trust Mikayla so much that they thought she added that sound in there as engagement bait, because people are commenting saying, what was that noise? And she would respond to a bunch of comments saying like, I'm not sure what noise you're talking about, I'm not hearing anything. And people saying like, is she actually not hearing anything because there is a glitch? Or did she add that in there to get engagement, to like farm engagement, to boost her video higher up? And it was also a sponsored video, so then that would make sense that she would want that video to get more views. But it's getting to the point where even if it was a glitch, people trust her so little that they think she did that on purpose. And I wouldn't even be surprised if she did do that on purpose. But those are the examples I found recently, and if you guys, like I said, have any more, let me know and I'll definitely do a part 2, because this is so interesting to me as just like a marketing method, but it feels so inauthentic, so disingenuous. Like, it just feels gross and icky, in my opinion. But like I said, I just don't care when brands do it, because I think they don't do it effectively enough for me to even notice, or it's something so dumb that we just see right through it. But with these influencers, it's so subtle that until you think about it, you're not really understanding what's going on. But yeah, and then I can't even imagine how kids are dealing with it, because kids watching this content just have no idea what's happening, and that's why they all fall for the I have to have drunk elephant and I have to have this, and because they don't see through those little things. And I think that's really sad. But subscribe with the like, comment for engagement. I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye guys.